Testing, testing. Alright, I'm back with another Destiny 2 video, and I am going to talk about today's seasonal story content. Things are structured a little bit differently this time around. There is not really, like, this is a dedicated story mission with a kind of voiceover the whole way through or anything. It's told in like kind of smaller chunks, and if I had to guess, I feel like there's maybe going to be a little bit less of a story. Not that there's like no narrative, there's plenty of narrative stuff, but maybe a little less story heavy than Season of the Haunted with all its kind of deep explorations of character history and grief, although we are starting to get a little bit more into some Fallen history this week. This starts with a new, well, it doesn't, not new. It gives you another expedition to do as like step one here. I believe they added a Cosmodrome expedition to the expedition playlist. However, that coming up is random. So if that is live, I did not get it. I got the Europa one again. So I have not done the Cosmodrome one yet. And that's just like complete that, do the thing. And then once you do that, you will unlock the next Pirate Lord. As I said last week, these are essentially little standalone lost sectors. I think that's what I'm going to be showing here, and they're just very small. I mean, it's literally just like a lost sector, essentially, with a little boss mechanic at the end. This one has a fallen sniper mini boss dude who is protected by some tracer shanks, but this is a pretty standard kind of lost sector size thing, maybe even smaller than some of the new lost sectors. And it's another one kind of carved into the side of an asteroid. You kill that dude, and then you get another, what's it called? One of these relics that do something. The Witness has assigned Aramis to capture all of these relics, and then we are getting them back from the Pirate Lords, and then Ido is studying them. At the end of this quest, there's a little bit of confrontation where Mithrax doesn't want Ido to be like directly involved in these like acquisition missions. Not that she's fighting, but she's like on comms with Drifter, and you can tell Drifter's like kind of mentoring her, which Mithrax does not like, which is kind of hilarious. And then she says she says like there's something inside. She thinks there's something inside of them, or that's what Drifter says later on. So we don't exactly know what these things are. There's something to do with, they were like old Elixni symbols of power or sources of power. There are some implications that they somehow contained, the forbidden power that the Great Machine didn't give them, which is the light. If you actually look at them, it kind of looks like there's like darkness taken goo inside of them, so I'm not really sure what that's about. And that might be what Ido wants to get at. After the main killing of the Pirate Lord, you go back to the Elixni Quarter, and Spider and Mithrax have a confrontation where Spider pitches the idea to Mithrax that if they just like seize the power contained in these relics, that they could, have everything they want, and like they could give the gift that the Traveler never gave them, and like kind of make Aramis's dreams come true. And Mithrax is like, "How dare you even suggest this to me?" And he calls him by his real name, which is like, I think it's Rakis. I've never heard Spider's real name before. Maybe it was in the lore, but that was the first time. So you know Spider's in trouble when he gets called by his first name by Mithrax. And he's like, Mithrax is like, "I can't believe you would say this." And Spider's like, "What? The Guardian? He's a fellow conspirator. It's fine." And no, Mithrax is like, "No, in front of me." And he's like, "Don't ever talk about this again." So Spider clearly has some sort of idea in mind that he wants to snag the power for himself or for the Elixni. Obviously, he's mostly concerned with himself. Something weird is going on with Spider and us. At the end of the little mission chain in the Elixni Quarter, you can once again play like, pick the engram for a random prize. And I think last time I got some seasonal loot. This time I got a pair of 1-stat green legs. So that was interesting. But every time you do this, Ido chimes in and is like, or in text form, she's like, "Hey, I saw some like interference spike from the Elixni Quarter. Is everything okay?" And you're like, yeah. And she did that last week too. And then Spider's talking about, playing his little game with the engrams. I don't know what this is. This feels like some sort of Spider trick where Spider is like siphoning data from us, or like sending something to Aramis or to the Witness or something. I feel like the Spider is it's going to be, curse your inevitable betrayal kind of thing, where the lore page for this week is similar, where the lore page is Ikora and Zavala debating what they should do with Spider, whether they should extradite him to Mara, or like the Techeuns will tear him apart. But Zavala ultimately makes the case that, enemies can become allies. Look what Mithrax is doing. Mithrax killed all these Guardians in a past life, and now he fights for us. And he says, like, who knows what Spider could become in centuries. And so we're apparently leaving Spider here and not handing him over to Mara. I guess Mara is busy. I don't know what Mara is supposed to be busy with. Savathun stuff? I'm not clear on what Mara's doing. But I don't know. It feels like kind of obvious to say we shouldn't trust Spider, and yet it does feel like we're building to some sort of like, okay, Spider has been spying for Aramis or something like that the whole time, or he's going to steal the relics for himself, and who knows where this is going exactly, but it does feel like something is more shady than usual with Spider. After that's kind of the end of the mission, where you don't even have to do a Ketchcrash as part of the like weekly seasonal thing. You just are doing it to farm loot. So I did a Ketchcrash just to see what had changed, and it's almost the entire same thing again. Like the whole structure is the same. The encounters are the same. It's just this time around they added a lot more Cabal War Beasts into a lot of the encounters, and I think last time around they added a lot of Shanks, and that is kind of a clue about the final boss. And the final boss here, I will say, genuinely surprised me. I forget his name, but he's clearly some sort of like fallen Beastmaster type pirate guy, because he's commanding out these war beasts and then some Cabal gladiators. And I was genuinely caught off guard by the opening of this battle, where you're standing behind the gate and you see all these war beasts coming, and you're like, okay, the gate's gonna open any second now, and then all the war beasts just come flooding through the gates, and 2/3 of the battle takes place in this really enclosed space inside the starting area where the flag is, rather than out on the deck. And then eventually the ship opens and you go fight him on the deck, but by that point that's his last health gate, and you can just kind of nuke him immediately. I imagine this will be a little more difficult on Master, but they're really showing off the power of Jolt and Chain Lightning here, because you can just Chain Lightning the hell out of those war beasts and they will get wiped out pretty quickly, and almost everybody is going to be running Arc in its current form, and then even Zero Resilience Arc 3.0 is okay for a normal Ketchcrash, although not for the Master one probably. And I got a new Scout Rifle with Bolt Shot on it, which I did not know that could roll, so pretty excited about that. Also a red bar. I am going to be working on my challenges and my upgrades there to... I did one, and then I gotta do the second one, which will allow me to get a weapon-focused treasure map for expeditions, so at least I can get a guaranteed weapon drop there. I'm hoping the weapons are all seasonal weapons and not just like world loot weapons. Maybe I should double check on that before I pick that one, but I don't know. I guess I'll be the guinea pig and see. And we do only get 2 of these this week, so it's another time gate, and these upgrades are going to be time gated over a pretty long period of time, I think. And then other than that, just, raid reset, go get your loot there, more chances at Touch of Malice. I would like to run the raid this week. I got to figure out when I can actually do that. But it was fun, and I want some better rolls on some of this stuff. And yeah, so I'll just be working on my other characters and challenges and stuff. I finally got to the last row of upgrades. Again, I just don't see anything that crazy here. Like the lightning strikes twice upgrade for the grenades is like okay. Like boosted grenade recharge rate is pretty good. I have it on my hunter. It's fine. I put the Ionic Trace one on my Ionic Trace Warlock build. I have so many friggin' things generating Ionic Traces in that build. Like, I think I'm overkill. I think I don't need all of the... I don't need the fragment and the Tombstone gun, or whatever it's called, Delicate Tomb, and this new seasonal mod now. I think there's a cooldown on Ionic Traces, so I can't even generate as many as I think. So I might switch to the grenade one there once I get some more unlocks. And then I was thrown into the middle of debates about SBMM on Twitter today, and the whole front-back Oryx debates. And then the most interesting bit of news that I probably would have done a video on if it wasn't reset day is that there's an interview with Joe Blackburn where he talks about how, they may have to sunset more stuff, but someone said that like Nessus is not in any danger anytime soon. I posted about that. Then Joe said, actually, we don't really want to sunset anything outside of seasonal content. So that was news. And then Tom Farnsworth chimed in because someone asked about Leviathan, because it's like a patrol space, but it's also seasonal content. And he said that is getting sunset again. So there's a whole lot of stuff there. I might go into that later. But for now, just doing the weekly stuff. And we'll see if there are any other secrets or things to dig out this week. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you soon.